Media sites. Media sites are still very interesting models because they can be created by relatively small team and quite fast. Media site model is about creating inventory of content and monetizing on it. So first of all, you have to create interesting for your chosen group content. Then you have to draw attention to it. So have customers who are consuming it and finding it interesting enough to share it with their friends. And once you have the attention, you monetize. So you try to earn money on them going through your stuff and sharing it to your friends. Just to give you a small flavor, we're gonna go through different options. So first of all, in terms of content creation, it can be created by you, it can be outsourced, you can have a aggregation of other people's content, or you can have a mix of those three strategies. And the last but not least is the user-generated content. So the content which is generated by people coming to your site. Now, in terms of channel use, you can be a media site just concentrated on one online channel. So for example, YouTube or your blog or your Facebook fan page. Then you can have a multi-channel yet only online presence. So it would mean that you have a YouTube, Facebook, Google+, Tumblr and Twitter at the same time, but you're not going into offline. And the third option is multi-channel. So you're trying to be everywhere, not only online, but also offline. In terms of revenue sources, so first, which probably comes up into your mind, it's ads, be it CPM, CPC, CPA, or CPS. Then the other thing is affiliation. So you get a percentage from transaction made through a link which was in your site, in your content. Third option is sponsorship. So this is quite often used by bloggers and podcasters. Licenses. So if you create some sort of a brand, you can sell the right for the usage of this brand to other companies which can try to benefit on it and share with you the profit. And more popular approach is basically to have some sort of an e-commerce. So it's not about just having a link, but actually making the product available straight away from your site. So you have a big portals going into it, but you also have a small YouTubers also trying to create their own product and market them using their channel and to benefit from the popularity of the channel. Next option is paywalls. So you're basically trying to get payment from people for accessing some content which is not widely available. This is more and more being tested by traditional newspapers, which have been suffering a lot through the online presence and the availability of the content. Some of them are successful, but it's not really widely spread. Another one is a subscription membership clubs. So it's a bit similar to the paywalls in the sense of you pay for the access, but the difference is here that you get more into different types of content, and it's sometimes content mixed with physical products or with services, and it is usually designed as a club. So it is more about community than just the media and the content. And a product placement. So you are being paid for having somewhere in your content product being mentioned or being visible. It's, the nicest example is probably that almost in every film you have guys using Apple's computers. Last, it's native advertising. So we will mention in a minute an example of a company which is basically living on this. The idea is basically to have advertising built into the content or other content built around the product or the advertising. So you actually have no idea that this is an advertising, and this is done in such a manner that it is attractive, shareable, and viral. So it makes the brand being spread all over the net. Now, in terms of getting the traffic, you can have it directly because they know your site. Then you can have a base of emails, and this is important, especially in the written content realm. Third, which is very important, are all sorts of notifications. So be it from YouTube or media sites to which you are subscribed, or be it from mobile apps, it's basically working a bit like emails. So guys get notification that new content is being placed, and some of them just click open and go to see the new content placed by you. SEO, of course, so if you're optimized for the search engines, then you are easier to find. Interlinking, so it's about putting a link in your content. So once somebody consumes your content and finds it attractive, then he can be easily maneuvered into going. Now, just a few examples of media sites. So BuzzFeed is the one I mentioned. So they are benefiting hugely through native advertising and product placement. What they do is produce funny, entertaining, and very viral content around the product. They are multi-channel, so they use mainly their web page, mobile apps, but a lot of YouTube and social media for sharing. the stuff, it is being generated by them or subcontractors. Now, the second example is a huge media site in Poland. It's Agora, and they are owner of one of the biggest newspapers in Poland and one of the biggest media site in Poland as well. And this is an example of a traditional media site going to the new fields and trying to establish a presence there. In terms of channels, they have obviously the printed newspaper, but also the web page and the mobile apps. And they try to be present in social media, but not really extensively. Now, in terms of revenue sources, they are example of a guy who, apart from payments for newspapers, were quite successful with the paywalls, introduced, I think, 1 year ago. And apart from that, obviously ads, but they try also native advertising, product placement, and affiliate links. Another example of much smaller entertainment, but very successful, is the Smart Passive Income of Pat Flynn. So this is a blogging about online business. The content is created in-house and by subcontractors. And he uses the strategy of being everywhere. And basically, it's not only his webpage blog, but he has a substantial podcasts, which also goes into the YouTube and to the iStore for podcasts. He's massively shared through social media, and he has also a massive email list, which helps him to distribute the knowledge and to gain on his products. Now, what he's earning from is sponsorships of podcasts, product placement, affiliate links, e-commerce. So in this case, we could be talking about own books, also own trainings and own products around specific niches, and obviously ads. Now, another group of interesting businesses, especially for those who are into smaller enterprises, smaller media sites, are the YouTubers. So here we have a few examples of basically funny guys who put a lot of funny stuff on YouTube. Obviously, it doesn't have to be just only funny and entertainment. It can be quite serious as well, and there were some examples for this as well. But one way or the other, this is in-house and subcontractors based created content, which is mainly in YouTube, but with social media spread of those movies. So the main platform is YouTube, the main platform in terms of providing the content, but also for earning the money. And the social media here are used as a support to make the business more viable and with bigger traffic. Obviously, they earn a lot of money from ads on YouTube, but usually they also have their own e-commerce. So it could be courses, it will be clothes, like it is in the case of Abstrahuja, sponsorship, product placement, and affiliate links. To understand the logic of media side, it's worth having a look at this graph from Lean Analytics. It shows you basically how people come to your site and how they can generate value for you. So as always, you can have paid traffic coming from search, viral, and returning customers directly going into your site. They come to you and they can create the value in 4 ways. So one way is basically subscribing to you. So they create a more permanent link with you. It is more permanent relationship, and this generates additional entries. The other one is obviously consuming the site. So they get exposed to whatever it's there. So they can not only become your advocate, but also can click on your ads, banners, affiliate links. The third one is obviously generating revenue through those clicks in one of the 3 or 4 ways we talked about. And then last but not least, it's the power to share. So the spread virally and bring you new visitors to your sites, which will be additionally consuming your content. Now, in terms of KPIs, they will be a bit different than what we had a look in the previous business models. So the first one is inventory of pages. So the places where you can put ads. It is important. Basically, it shows you how much you can sell. It is calculated as a number of pages visited by customers over a certain period, preferably month. You can disaggregate it into 3 other KPIs. So unique visitors, so number of people who came to your site, number of visits per unique visitors, and page per visit. This enables you to also have a look what is the main generator of the page inventory. Is it the huge number of unique visitors, or is it rather a big amount of page per visit? As mentioned, very important KPIs, the unique visitors. So this is the number of visitors that came to your site. It shows you how many potential customers there are. Apart from that, it's worth calculating the average number of visits they come to your site, and also how many pages they visit per such a site. Now, it is also worth mentioning or worth measuring the average time per visit. In many cases, this is even more important than number of visits or number of pages visited, especially when we are talking about podcasts, music, movies. Number of emails subscribing to your site are one of the biggest assets of your company. Therefore, it's also worth measuring how many subscribers to your site you've got. Bear in mind that despite all the social media and other innovations you have in the mobile apps, emails are still the most effective way to communicate cheaply with your customers. Apart from that, they enable you to use other tactics like retargeting on Facebook or retargeting in other words. So always collect emails.